Hi class, welcome back to Mastering the Timeless Classic Books. My name is Jing and I'm going to be your instructor for this 8-week class. I am so excited to see you all here. For those of you who weren't here in the first session, this is a reminder that all of our sessions will be held virtually because of the pandemic, and all of the activities and breakout session links I'll be sending you through the chat. So I will remind you, and so stay in tune for that. Now let's go over what we covered in the last class. So we talked about our program goals and objectives. Can someone remind everyone what some of our program goals are? Yes, John, what is it? Correct, to delve into the minds of the world's greatest thinkers and writers. Yes, by reading these 100 classic books in history. And what else? Molly. Yep, discovering a new world for ourselves by being connected to the great minds in the history and reading about the characters in their books. Absolutely. And what else? Anyone else? Okay, you can add, so this is a reminder, you can click on the icon with the hand to raise your hand and unmute yourself to answer any questions. Or you know, if you have any audio difficulties, you can type it in the chat section. Yes, Sam. Absolutely. Cultivate a great habit that nourishes our minds. Yes, and these are the important goals of our reading program by reading these timeless classic books. Now, before we get into our activities for the day, I wanted to go over some of our objectives that we have for the upcoming seven sessions of the class, and you know, some of the things that we'll be focusing on while we go over the book. So just a reminder that we will be reading The Catcher in the Rye. This is one of the classic books and also one of my personal favorites from high school. So I am really looking forward to be reading this book again together with all of you. And our objectives, so our first objective is to analyze the story plot from the book, and you will do that through presentation, writing summaries, and discussing with your fellow classmates here that you see here on virtually. And we will also spend some time to evaluate the character motivation and the relationship among characters. The next one is that in your third week, you will be creating a poster to demonstrate a setting or a scene in the story that you think that resonates with you the most. And finally, in the last week, we will examine the author's thoughts behind the book and the author's background. Because sometimes it's really important to understand where the author is coming from, how they're thinking. Yes, so that will be something that's going to be really interesting and exciting for us to focus on. Okay, so without further ado, I am going to get us started with our activity of the day, which is called Reading Jigsaw. It's going to be super interesting. Since there are exactly 16 of you here, I am going to divide you into 4 groups. And here in this chat section, you will be able to see the links for each group. So for group A, which is Sam, Molly, Adam, and Kelly, you are going to click on the link that's indicated for group A. And I put down the rest of your names with the links here in the chat, so feel free to go in there. But before you leave, I'm going to tell you the instructions in detail.